there, it's Kevin with Rogue Deck Builder here with a Theros Beyond pre-release pack opening and deck construction. We're going to do a mock deck construction as if we were playing in the pre-release with this pre-release pack. So hopefully we get some good pulls here, and I'm not going to go into too much detail with the deck. It's just going to be kind of a theory crafting here of how I'd go about if I were playing in a pre-release with this pre-release pack. All right, so let's get to opening here of the Theros Beyond Death pre-release pack. So let's see what it looks like this time. If there's any special dice, nope, womp womp. These ugly, just normal dice are in this. There's a set symbol on here. This is what we see from most of the kind of generic dice you get from each set. So that's kind of a disappointment. Let's look at our pre-release promo. Is going to be the Nylea's Intervention. Search your library for up to X lands, reveal them, put into your hand, then shuffle your library, or deals X damage to each creature, twice X damage to each creature flying. So I don't know, it's pretty, this is like a card you can put in the main. You don't have to put it in the sideboard, because I think even in like a 40 card deck, you could thin out your deck quite, like even for 5 you're getting 3 lands. I don't know if that's actually worth it. It's kind of weak for a rare in the pre-release. However, yeah, it's something that I probably will play if I will be in green, but it's not too exciting. All right, let's get on to the first pack. So we have the Naiad of Hidden Coves, the Hero of the Games. Really like this card. This is on my top 10 cards that I want to brew around. So Heroic Strategy would be really good if we can get some more of these. Plummet, man, we can really kill the flying creatures between these two. We won't be worried about those. The Discordant Piper, it's a 2/1. When it dies, you put a 0/1. So if we have any sort of sacrifice theme, this is going to be in the deck. The Voracious Typhoon, or Typhon, I guess. 4/4 for 4, so that's always good. With Escape, with only Escape 4 and 7, and then it becomes a 7/7. So pretty good value on this. It works really good with our Nylea's Intervention, actually, to get the mana for the escape. The Wings of Hubris, you can get a creature flying and then sacrifice it to make it so it can't be blocked. If we do go into a big, dumb green deck, it's going to be a pretty good synergy with cards like the Voracious Typhoon. Kind of awkward though. The Scophus Warleader, you can sacrifice another creature or an enchantment, and it gets +1 plus your own menace. The Myers Grasp, enchanted creature gets -3/-3 for 2 mana. Very good if we're going to be in black. This is definitely going to be in our list. The Rumbling Sentry, 3/6, enters the battlefield, scries, very filler. Witness Tomorrow, flying 3/4 with a scry 1 for 4. Again, kind of pretty generic here for a card. It'd definitely be in your 20 to 24 slot. The Hero of Nyxborn. Now we really want to go into red-white heroics. So let's cross our fingers here that we can get a card that a couple other heroic enablers and another card, another hero, because we have 2 of the heroes in the same pack. It's pretty good. The Thundering Chariot, First Strike, Trample, Haste, crew 1. Pretty good card, actually. It basically turns all your 1-drops into 3/3 First Strike and Haste, or First Strike Trample. The Escape Velocity, there's 1 heroic enabler here. Enchanted creature gets +1/+0 and has haste. And then Escape, this is actually really good for that heroic strategy. You can exile 2 other cards to return it back from your graveyard. So pretty good card in that. And we also have the Archons of the Sun's Grace. Okay, so we're looking at a very, very powerful pre-release here with pack number 1 on color and on theme. So we have Constellation that works with enchantments that also will get the heroic triggers and also spit out more creatures. We have two cards that are spitting out creatures, and we have 2 creatures that are making your other creatures bigger. So very, very good. The Island, I actually like these. We've seen the foil version of these, and they're ugly in the foil. The foiling process is incredibly dark. I like these non-foils. They're pretty sweet. And the Kraken, hexproof Kraken token. I can't remember what spits that out, like the Saga. The Saga spits out. Mythic Saga spits out the Krakens, I believe. All right, let's go on to pack number 2. We have the Ichthyomorphosis. This is a good one just to dumb down any one of your opponent's most powerful creatures. The Portent of Betrayal, this is actually going to be okay in our heroic strategy because we can actually use it on our own card. Gain control of a creature, untap it, and scry 1. Plummet, wow, we really don't need to worry about flying creatures. Another Wings, another Skyfall's Warleader, another Myers. So we have a duplicate pack here for the commons after the first one. First 2. So the Myers, Rumbling Sentry, Witness for Tomorrow. All right, so here's where it gets reshifted again. The Elysian Caryatid. So if you control a creature with 4 or greater, taps for 2 mana, otherwise tap for 1 mana. Banishing Light, that'll work very well in the white-red strategy, Boros strategy, as is also will trigger that Constellation. And the Wolf, the Wolf Willow Haven, it produces an additional green, and then when you can sacrifice it to get a 2/2 wolf, pretty decent. So still thinking that red whites are a more powerful strategy here. Green white splash red seems pretty decent too. The Birth of Meletis, you get a search for a plains card, create a 0/4 wall, and gain 2 life. And the Shadow Spear. What is up with all these equipments? We want heroic stuff, not things that won't trigger the heroic. So equipped creature gets +1/+1 trample and lifelink, and permanents your opponent's control lose hexproof. That is our rare. We get a foil in process, and this one actually looks pretty good, but you can tell they're kind of dark. The camera's not giving it justice here, but the foiling seems a bit darker. Works on this card. Actually looks pretty nice. And then draw a card and escape, exile 5 other cards. We get a Plains and a Satyr token. All right. So pack number 3. We get the Heliod's Pilgrim. Perfect for our red-white strategy. The stars are coming align here for this strategy. Heliod's Pilgrim's going to go get an Aura card and put it into our hand. The Starlit Mantle. Creature gains hexproof until end of turn with flash, and enchanted creature gets +1/+1. The Oread of Mountain Blaze. Discard a card to draw a card, 1/3. The Aspect of the Lamprey. Enchanted creature you control, when it enters the battlefield, target opponent discards 2 cards, and enchanted creature gets lifelink. The Nyxborn Colossus, 6/7 filler. For 6 mana, an Unknown Shore. If we need to splash, this will help us out. The Memory Drain, which counters a spell and scries 2. The Flummoxed Cyclops, 4 mana for a 4/4 reach. Whenever 2 or more creatures your opponent's control attack, it can't be blocked this combat. This actually works pretty good with our heroic strategy. Reach is pretty good on here too. 4/4/4, very good card. Altar of the Pantheon. Your devotion to each color is increased by 1, and add 1 mana of any color. If you control a god, a demigod, or a legendary enchantment, you gain 1 life. I think we had a demigod. That's what the hero was? No, the hero wasn't demigod. All right, the Chainweb Arachner. Reach. Wow, we can block every flying creature imaginable. Enters battlefield, deals damage equal to its power to a creature an opponent controls with flying. Escape for 5 and exile 4 other cards, and then it enters as a with 3 counters. So it enters as a 4 so a 4/5. Fateful End deals 3 damage to any target. Scry 1. Nice removal spell. The Clothy's Design, I don't know how to say that, maybe the whatever. 6 mana creatures you control get +X plus X, where X is your devotion green. So it's an aspect of Hydra for your entire team. Fastest Intervention. You can either look at the top of cards of your library and put 2 of them in your hand and the rest on the bottom, or counter a spell unless they pay twice X. And we get a foil, Elysian Caryatid. So the problem with our red-white strategy is I don't know if we have enough cards. The packs are not finding. We still have 3 packs to go. All right, so we have a Flash 0/5 Defender Turtle. The Thrill Possibilities will help us fix if we do go in that red-white strategy. A Nyxborn Courser, decent little body, 2/4 for 3 mana. Another Morphosis. A Rage Scarred Berserker enters the battlefield. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 indestructible. 5/4 for 5 mana. A Plummet in every pack. Pious Wayfarer. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield, your control target creature gets +1/+1 until end turn. So kind of a better heroic type thing on this card. A Captivating Unicorn that has Constellation. When it enters the battlefield, tap a creature an opponent controls. The Inspiring Awe. Prevent all combat damage except for enchanted creatures or enchantment creatures. Scry 2. Final Death. Exile target creature for 5 mana. Mischievous Chimera. Whenever you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, it deals 1 damage to each opponent and scry 1. Flying for... let's look at that. It's damaged at the top there. I don't know if you can see that. Rink. There we go. A Furious Rise. At the beginning of your end step, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, exile top card of your library. You may play that card until you exile another card. Pretty cool, actually. I think that with our strategy, we might be able to get there with the Furious Rise. The Binding of the Titans. Each player puts the top 3 cards of their library in the graveyard. Exile up to 2 target cards from graveyards. For each creature, you gain 1 life. And then return target creature or land card from your graveyard to your hand. Not a bad card. And we have Deluxo's Crafter of Wonders, which helps us cast artifact spells and gives equipped creatures you control have flying and haste. We had a couple of equipments here and a mountain. Another kind of lackluster card to put together our heroic strategy. Green looks pretty decent. Green seems good, like a green black. We have good removal in black. We have a lot of good threats in green. We have the Omen of the Sun. Flash, when Omen of the Sun enters the battlefield, you create 2/1/1 white human creature tokens, and you gain 2 life, and then you can sack it to scry 2. Works for our Constellation or Go Wide. Constellation, whenever an opponent enchantment enters the battlefield under control of Triton Waver and gains flying, 3/3 for 3. The Underworld Ragehound attacks each combat if able, exile 3 cards to come back with escape, and it becomes a 4/2. We have the Leonin of the Lost Pride. When Leonin of the Lost Pride dies, exile target card from opponent's graveyard. The Loathsome Chimera, escape 5, and then it enters the battlefield with a +1/+1, so it enters a 5/2, and it's a 4/1. The Underworld Charger enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it, and escape for 5 and 3 cards, can't block. The Fruit of Theros, target player loses 2 life and escape 3. For 4 mana. Return to Nature, we get to destroy an artifact or enchantment or exile a card. Very relevant in this set. The Omen of the Forge, when it enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to any target, and then you sacrifice it for 2. And the Impending Doom, we finally get a heroic enabler. Enchantment creature gets +3/+3 and attacks each combat fable. And when it dies, it deals 3 damage to that creature's controller. Pretty decent little heroic enabler. Yeah, this is what we needed. The Staggering Insight. Ooh, can we splash blue? Because this is a really good card for enchant creature gets +1/+1, has lifelink. Whenever it deals combat damage, you draw a card. And then we have a Field of Ruin. Love the new artwork on the Field of Ruin. That is a pretty card. Love the artwork there. And we get Nylea, Keen-Eyed, 5/6 indestructible. Creature spells cost 1 less to cast, and you can reveal the top card of your library if it's a creature card. And you put it into your hand, otherwise put it into your graveyard. So kind of this is making me want to play green for sure. I'm still loving the heroic strategy, but green seems pretty decent, and we get a foil rare in the same pack with Reach. When our opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, you create a 1/2 spider with Reach. So I think that puts us over the top for like a green-based deck. We have a lot of heavy hitters in green. I like with black, with like an escape type green-black value-based deck. Basically, I think that our blue has been kind of awkward in my opinion, but definitely Golgari or Boros would be the right play here. We get a Transcendent Envoy. 2 mana for a 1/2 flying, and Aura spells cost 1 less to cast. We didn't get enough Auras though to probably make it worthwhile. In heroic strategy, you'd probably still want a 1/2 flyer for 2. Stern Dismissal to return to our creature or enchantment to an opponent controls to its hand. As additional cost to cast spell, sacrifice a creature enchantment, deal 5 damage to a creature. Very, very good removal in red-white right now. The Glory Bearers, whenever another creature you control attacks, they get +0/+1. The Loathsome Chimera number 2. The Underworld Charger number 2. Another Altar of the Pantheon. Yeah, we did have another one of these. The Nylea's Huntmaster. When it enters the battlefield, target creature control gets +X/0 until end turn, where X is your ocean of green. Another Fruit of Theros. I really wish this card says you gain 2 life as well. I think it'd be very playable if that was the case, but just 2 life for 1 and then escape, it's gonna be tough to cast this more than twice in a game, and I don't know if it's worthwhile at that point. Captivating Unicorn, another one. The Pharika Spawn enters with 2 +1 counters and destroys non-Gorgon. Yeah, green. I think it's all about green-black with this. It's so close to Boros, but here in pre-release you can definitely build 2 decks, and then you can play a 1 as your main, and then bring 1 in if it matches up better what your opponent's doing. So I highly encourage people to try to do that in the pre-release if they're having, like in our case, we have 2 decks that don't overlap much. I don't think we're going green-white. Like there's definitely an argument for green-white with some of the Constellation cards, but I think it's green-black would synergize better together, and red-white for sure. So Favorite of Iroas is going to be another Constellation double strike, nice little heroic. We just didn't get enough like auras to make it worthwhile. Inevitable End. Enchanted creature has at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature for 3 mana. And another rare in green, Nessian Boar. All creatures able to block Nessian Boar do so, and whenever it becomes blocked by a creature, that creature's controller draws a card. 10/6 needs like trample or something. This feels like it could actually help your opponent out a ton. But when you're ready to swing in for everything, you wipe your opponent's board most likely, as well as your other creatures get in And yeah, I think it's actually playable. A swamp and a nada here, not even a token here. So I think that what we're looking about, let's look at all the highlights of what we got. So I'm going to hurry and sort this into like playable cards that really want us to go a particular strategy. So we have like a red-white constellation / heroic that seems pretty good. The green-black value base deck seems also pretty good. We got some filler like 2-drops for a go wide strategy for the green red or the Boros strategy. Like the Omen of the Sun and the Omen of the Forge work really well with constellation and the go wide. We have the Binding of the Titans help us fill up our graveyard too with our escape plan. We have the Fears of Rise. If we can get this to work, could definitely go in the deck. It just might not get there. It's gonna be tough. We have a lot of removal in Golgari. Lots of these Captivating Unicorn type cards and the heroic cards. Let's see what we got here. Thrill can help us. Yeah, blue just seems very iffy. The Elysian Caryatid gets very interesting for ramping into some of our higher converted mana cost cards. Like the design seems like a very good just win card. Yeah, this is gonna be tough to decide on a color scheme. I'm definitely leaning towards the green black. I think that it has more of the bite that you want to see than the Boros. If you can get the right cards on the right turns, it definitely seems like you could have some pretty good curves. Both those all the heroic cards, constellation cards, are quite strong, but it does seem to be very dependent on getting those on the right curve. Whereas the Golgari version is definitely more of like the inevitability. Like it's just a good value-based deck, and that's definitely where I would go. We'll just take a look here. I wonder where the Thundering Chariot would go. Probably either deck would want the Thundering Chariot, but just green black just seems so that's what I'm looking for. Just seems like it's complete, whereas the red white seems a little bit. Let's see the curve of the red white Boros strategy. Oh, there's one more. We have one more pack here. We have the Nessian Boar. It's very, very close for sure of which one we would want to go. So, alright, I think we got our playables and non-playables. Let's start off with the red-white. So red-white, we have a decent little curve. We have 2 3/1s here that can get the game going. 4-drop removal, 5-drop. See if I can defocus here and see what we have. If that is out of focus, we have some decent. Yeah, the curve actually is better than I thought for this strategy. I think the problem is the lack of auras to trigger that heroic. Important Betrayal we want to run just because it could trigger our own heroic. That seems pretty bad. I'm not sure we'd care about these war leaders. I think they're a little bit high curve. The thing about what I like about this red-white strategy is we do have a pretty decent removal package in here. Let's see, we definitely want the Flux. The Fateful Land is removed. We have Final Flare, Banishing Light, Fateful Land. Thorough Possibility may or may not make the cut. I had to actually run this Nyxborn Corsair just to trigger the Constellation. We have a pretty good Constellation strategy. I would definitely at this point cut the War Leaders. I don't think that they're going to get there. We have plenty of creatures. Furious Rise, though, would be the exception. If we want to go into the Captivating Unicorn and the War Leader, we could run the Furious Rise in here. But with as is, what do we have that triggers it? The Unicorn, the Archon. I don't know if this would quite make the cut. We have the Omen of the Suns that counts as kind of a creature. Omen of the Forge is removal. Impending Dooms are their aura. So the biggest problem was the lack of aura. So what do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So these definitely would want to be in here. So this would probably be the list that I would run with the Boros. I don't know if you can see those cards or not. And then possibly the Furious Rise, and then cut something else like the Portent of Betrayal. As a Furious Rise, I think would get the value if we're running the Skyfo's War Leader and the Captivating Unicorns. But this is just the sad part. These are the only auras we have that work with it. Yes, some of the other stuff does trigger off of Constellation. This ends up being more of a Constellation-based deck than a Heroic deck. Just didn't quite get there, which is very, very disappointing when first pack has the Hero of the Games and Hero of the Nyxborn, plus the Constellation Pegasus creator. So almost there with this. But still, this is something you wouldn't complain about for a pool. It's giving you all the tools you need to win games. And we got removal, we got a good Constellation package. This is pretty legit. So the next one, like a green-black Escape, we have a lot of pressure here, some decent removal. I don't know if we'd want the Inevitable End or not, but just the creature package, we do have a very good curve here. We got some early stall. We got some 4-drops. We got a bunch of these Myers Grass. The Thundering Cherry, I don't know would quite make the cut or not. We have another Myers Grass. So lots of decent removal spell right off the bat. And man, even going into like a white-black Constellation would seem pretty good with the Myers Grasp strategy. We have the Caryatids that help ramp us into it. We also have the ramp with the Wolfhaven, the Wolf Willow Haven. The 1/1 Trample Lifelink's actually very relevant with big escape beaters, especially putting like a Shadow Spear on Nessian Boar. Aspect of Lamprey I think is actually pretty good in this one too, just to give lifelink to a creature. The Colossus is a little bit higher curve here. We'd have the Chain Web. The finisher, the Clotho's design could definitely get us there. The Berserkers, I don't know if we'd care about the Berserkers. Plus one 0 indestructible. Might make the cut, might not make it. We have a Final Death for removal. We have ways to put escape cards in our graveyard. Another Loathsome Chimera, Unheroic Charger. And then we have Nylea for card advantage. And this awesome Arasta, the Endless Web. So let's see how many cards we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 5. We have to cut a couple cards here. I don't know exactly where we'd go. Probably something like the Rage Scar would give us down to 24. Cut one more card. We have plenty of ramp. We have plenty of ways to get just a lot of pure value out of this deck. So I'm still leaning towards this would be the safe bet. With the Golgari, but the Boros is definitely not a bad play either. So there you have it. I think that this is a pretty good pool. Let me know in the comment sections how you would build it, and good luck in your pre-release in a couple days here. Friday, right? So it's Wednesday today, so a couple more days, and you'll be at your pre-release hopefully. So go support your local game store. Stay away from that arena. We can play in an arena, but definitely go and play live. It's all about Magic. Is all about the gathering. It's all about going to those stores and hanging out with your friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been Kevin with Rogue Deck Builder. Thanks for watching.